Ciao, I'm Mario, a Swiss car guy on YouTube, and once more you'll find me standing in front of my 1989 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. And the reason is simple, I'm going to do some work on the car. And in fact today I'm going to tackle the sagging headliner. Oh yes.
How hard can it be?
We start by removing the sail covers over the rear speakers. The window trim is held in with clips from hell. It needs to be pulled backwards or the tabs that hold it on will snap off. There is a trim piece at the rear over the hatch that is held in with 4 screws. A screw needs to be removed from each C-pillar trim in order to loosen it. The trim on the C-pillar is usually connected with 1 screw. In my case, the previous guy added a couple more. The sun visors are held in by 3 screws each. The dome light needs to be removed. It looks to be held in by 2 rivets, but it can actually be unscrewed with pliers or a vice grip. It took me a while to figure that out. And with some gentle pulling, the headliner comes off. With the headliner safely in my dining room, I just ripped the old fabric off. The staples the previous owner had put in, fortunately just come right off with the fabric. I use a stiff bristled brush to remove the old crumbly foam from the headliner. I try to be as thorough as possible, since the old foam will prevent the new headliner from sticking properly. A few quick vacuums get the worst of the foam out of the way. I wipe the entire backing board with panel wipe. It probably doesn't make too much sense on porous materials, but I'm trying to increase my chances of the new material sticking well. The backing board is not in the best of shapes. It is usable though, so I try to add some extra glue over the damaged areas. It would have been better to use fiberglass and resin, but I don't have that. I'm using 3M 8080 automotive adhesive. This is made especially for headliners. Again, I bought the proper glue to give the headliner the best chances of staying up. I'm applying an even coating on the backing board and off camera a coating to the headliner fabric. I let it dry for 3 to 5 minutes until it gets tacky. And then it's on with the fabric. I place it loosely first, and once I'm happy I press it on with a roller. Like many upholstery glues, it only bonds strongly once pressure has been applied. I let it dry for half an hour before I start to cut off the excess material. It doesn't need to be cut very beautifully, since the edges are covered up by the trim panels in the car anyway. The headliner material is a generic grey Alcantara type material with a foam backing. I bought it on AliExpress for about 70 francs. But I bought 2 meters and 1.5 would probably have been enough, but you know, I'd rather have too much than too little. It arrived very creased and wrinkled, since the seller folded it instead of rolling it. So I spent about an hour ironing the living daylights out of the fabric with the iron at full heat, as lower settings didn't do anything. For the front of the headliner, the material needs to be tucked around and glued to the backside of the backing board. I ended up cleaning the edge of the backside and did a second round of glue to make sure it held on well. I finished by cutting out the holes for the sun visor mounts, and then the whole assembly can go back in the car. I did wait 24 hours for the glue to properly dry before attempting to put the headliner back into the car. But first, while in there, I figured I could attach some aluminium butyl sound deadening to the roof. It probably won't make much of a difference, but best practices, right? I degreased the roof with panel wipe to make sure the butyl sticks well. I pre-cut the pieces, so I just have to stick them on and press them in place with a roller. Since I closed all the windows, the car fogged up. With clean new gloves, I get the headliner back into the car. The headliner needs to be clipped in at the front, sideways from the passenger side towards the driver's side. I then put the dome light back in, as that is a central place that holds the headliner up quite well. Then it's the sun visors. My pre-cut holes were not big enough, so I had to modify them on the spot. The panel in the back is next. The headliner is in, and now it's time for the window surroundings. Again, with the clips from hell. I struggled a lot with them. The secret is to get the old clips out, which is very hard, then put new clips into the surroundings and clipping the whole assembly onto the car. I replaced all the clips and also repaired some of the broken off tabs using the old superglue and baking powder method. Now the surrounding is held firmly in place without the need for any of the additional screws the previous owner had put in. That's it, job done.
So here we are, I fixed the headliner. I think it turned out pretty well considering I've never done anything like this in my life. So it's pretty much alright. The color match is not great, but that was to be expected because instead of buying like the specialized fabric from the specialist from the state, which was like $250 plus shipping plus import duties and fees and stuff, would have cost me like $350, $400, which is too much money. So I just bought some headliner fabric off of AliExpress, of course, like everything I get on AliExpress. And that cost me, I think, delivered around 70 francs, which is about, you know, $70, something like this. I even have a bit of spare in case I need more. And it is some Alcantara type material, and I think it looks quite snazzy. So what do you think of my do-it-yourself headliner repair? Should I have gone the proper route and buy the proper stuff? Should I have not reused my old backing material that was falling apart? What do you think? Because in my opinion, this is a car I bought for not that much money, so I want to fix it for not that much money. I mean, I could pour more money into it, but it will not be reflecting the car's value. I'd like to have something nice and well done, but not, you know, spend the world for it. So please comment down below what do you think of the job I did, and maybe tell me how I could have done it better or how I should have done it, because I hope it's going to stay up. Only time will tell. I mean, I used the proper 3M automotive adhesive, hoping that it will stay up, but then again, I don't know, I'm not an expert. I even used some 3M degreaser and stuff, but yeah, we will see. Oh, and since I reckon this was quite a short video, I will now show you some food being prepared. I hope so. So after the end of the video, the food. Please leave a comment down below, like this video if you liked it, share it with somebody who maybe has to do the same job. Maybe they can learn from my mistakes or they can learn from my success, I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, bye.